I used to think that quitting alcohol was the end of my fun, the end of my outgoing personality. What would I do to have fun anymore? I was really afraid of what I'd be left with if I quit drinking. What kind of person would I be? I would be that quiet, shy person that everybody used to wonder about and ask, why are you so quiet? Why are you so shy? And I was scared of what I would be left with. But I was wrong. Quitting drinking was not the end, it was just the beginning. And through that journey that was so hard and tough and confusing, I learned 5 very powerful lessons that I'm going to share with you today. Lesson number 1, I looked at this as a promotion and not a punishment. The first thing that I had to do was completely reframe what sobriety meant to me. I wasn't losing something, I was gaining my sobriety, which meant that I was gaining the person that I was meant to be, a better person, a better version of myself. That whole identity that I had built for years while I was under the influence of alcohol. I think the shift happened when I started to look at it as, something, if I would deny a drink or have to say no to a drink, and started focusing on what I was gaining. And I was gaining a lot. I was gaining clarity. And for the first time in a long time, I was gaining control over my life. Lesson number 2 is that you have to get emotionally sober too. I know with drinking, I would drink because I was happy. I would drink because I was sad. I would drink because I was stressed out. And now you've got those raw emotions that you're left with. You've got to actually deal with your feelings when you start to feel all these emotions. I know I had to deal with the one great emotion when I quit drinking, and it was the reason that I quit drinking was when my mom passed away. When she initially passed, I would drink because I was I was devastated. I would cry, and in order to try to take those feelings away and to push them down, I would drink even more. And every night that I would drink, I would just sob and cry, and learned that I wasn't able to numb grief. I had to actually deal with those feelings, and I knew that I had to do it. And that's when I decided to quit drinking. And I was left with those raw emotions of grief, which was just terrible. And I never thought that I would get through it, but I did. I pushed through it, and it just made me stronger. I felt like that was the beginning of my sobriety. And those feelings you've got to start to learn to deal with. Learning the skill of emotional sobriety is something that you're going to have to learn to deal with for the remainder of your life. You've got to deal with those feelings head on without running to a drink, without wanting to numb. And for me, this started a process of mindful thinking, journaling, meditating, things like that when I started to feel these emotions. You are going to go through some stuff. That is just the way life is, and you have to learn how to deal with it without the alcohol. You are going to want to run to that alcohol when you initially start to feel feelings. There were many things in my life that I had to go through when I was sober, and I learned to deal with it. I learned to sit with my feelings. In addition to losing my mom, I lost a dear friend to domestic violence. And that was a terrible loss. And I had to learn how to deal with those feelings directly, and to journal and to talk it out, and had to go to counseling and to meetings and things like that to talk about it, because those are some really big feelings, and life is going to continue to happen. So my tip for this lesson is to start daily mindfulness. Just start meditating. Take about 5 minutes a day. Close your eyes and just focus on your breath. There are some YouTube videos, and you can find things online on how to meditate. And I can tell you that this really helps. It sort of clears your mind and makes you a little bit stronger. So Just take 5 minutes a day. And then when you have stuff that comes up, just sit with it and breathe. And you'll notice that you'll start to feel better. So, lesson number 3, you're going to have to take a look at who your people are, who your friends are, and you're going to have to protect your peace. You are going to find that there are people who are your drinking buddies, your drinking friends, and other people are your true friends. And you're more than likely going to find that out through this process. You may have to weed some people out initially, but again, you're going to find out who your true friends are. And this whole process is really going to teach you how to form boundaries, how to say no, how to leave a party or a picnic early, how to leave a family event early. I know initially when I became sober, I was really nervous about the holidays. That first holiday season that came around, that I was going to be around certain people that like to drink, and I was really nervous about it. And the ladies group that I was in gave me some really good tips, and they were there for me. And you go to these groups with these women that I went to, and they give you tips and they help you, and they're there for you if you need to make a phone call when you're at a party like this or something, and you're at a family event that you are really not able to avoid because of the holidays. Have the phone number of a person as, somebody that you can call to get some support. And don't be afraid to leave a party early. That is one thing that I did do. And certain parties, people start to drink and they start to have their fun and get loud and things like that. And I knew when it was my time to kind of head out. And I did that without feeling bad about it. So you're going to have to learn to set those boundaries and be around support and people that care about you and want what's best for you. And lesson number 4 is get reacquainted with yourself. You are going to be a different person when you're sober. And through this process, you are going to have to learn who that person is. You used to be that person that would, whenever you drank, you would go out on a Friday night, you would drink on the weekends. And, when you're left without that, you've got to fill that void and figure out who you are and what you like to do without the alcohol. And that takes time. It is a process. And when I drank, I forgot who I was, what my passions were. And I know when I quit drinking, your mind is clear and you start to realize what you love to do. And, you've got to rediscover so many things about yourself. And now you're able to do those things because you have some extra time and you have that clear mind. Find things to do that are fulfilling to you, whether it's taking an art class, finding a new hobby. And the point of this is just to build a life that's full of purpose and a life where you're happy. And lesson number 5, recovery is not the finish line, it is a lifestyle. And what you're going to realize is that sobriety is not a destination that you reach. It's an ongoing process. I think I thought once I was sober after a year or so that I would be done, I would be finished, I would be cured. And that's not the way it works. It's an ongoing process. You've got to continue to work at it because you're going to have bad days and stuff is going to come up that you have to deal with. And you will have to deal with it without drinking. And you will have to continue to work on yourself. Just be committed to yourself and to your personal growth, and be humble. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. And for me, this recovery process involves finding out what my passions are. At this point, I have raised my son. He is over 18. He has graduated from high school. And I'm now, after many years of sobriety, just rediscovering who I am and what I like and what my passions are, and starting an online business. I've always wanted to have my own business, and now I have a clear mind to be able to learn new things and just to continue to evolve. So, what I recommend is keep a journal. Just write things down. Write things down that you enjoy, that you like, and things that you want to do. So, this journey of sobriety has been one of the hardest things, but it has been one of the most rewarding in my life. And these 5 lessons were my lifeline. So, just know that you are around people and that you can be around people that support you. There are people that care about you, whether it's in the sobriety community or online, a group like mine on YouTube. You can find support and reach out for help. And I want to leave you with this. I said at the beginning that I felt as though sobriety was the end, and learned through this whole process that it is not. It's just the beginning. It's the beginning of a new life for me and also for you. You're rediscovering yourself. You're rediscovering your purpose and your emotions and your feelings. And just know that you have a community of women around you, especially online. And that journey from that dark place where I was to where I am now just gives me hope. So please know that there is hope out there for you if you're trying to quit drinking. Finding yourself again. Thanks for watching. Recovery is not about losing yourself, it's about finding yourself again. Thanks for watching.